Welcome back everybody, I hope you're all excellent. We're checking out the full release of Firmware 2 for the Fractal Audio FM3. I did a video on the beta release about 2 weeks ago. I only had a couple of minutes to look at it at the time. So in this video, because it's the full release with all the bugs squashed, let's dive in deep. I also want to show off some presets that I've put together for a free preset pack. We'll hear those at the end. But for now, let's start out with the new Arcane Clean Amp model. I'm using a cab that's included in that preset pack, LTTV Mix 7, and I have a little bit of the small hall reverb on. All I've done to this amp model at the moment is just turn the input drive up to 8, and it's still super clean with this guitar. So to me, it's a little bit dull sounding. I'll bring the bass down a little bit and I'll bump the mid-range and the treble as well as the presence just a little bit. This seems to open it up. And with this guitar, I can turn the input drive all the way up and it's still pretty clean. That's quite a nice clean tone. One thing I like to do with just about any clean tone is go to the Amp Block Dynamics tab, leave the output compressor at stock, but just turn the output compression up to about 2. You get this. I love that on the neck and middle position there. That's quite a sweet, funky tone. We can add the new JFET compressor type in front of all of this to make it, in my opinion, even funkier and even more enjoyable. So we've got the JFET compressor. I just turn the compression down a little bit and add about 6 dB of makeup gain. Gorgeous, I really like that. So that is the Arcane Clean. Let's go to channel B on the amp block. I'll turn the compressor off and let's play around with the Arcane, just the standard one. There's an Arcane and an Arcane Bright. This is the gain channel we're talking about here. So let's just hear that at stock settings. It's already pretty good. It's already really good with a Strat. So let's maybe turn the input drive down and bump the master a little bit because you can see we're not really getting close to running out of headroom. Or I should say we have lots of headroom. That's really cool. Let's hear the bright mode and I'll kind of set things where I had them set before, which was what I do, just turn the master up. Again, really cool. I would maybe, what would I do with this? Kind of just bump the mids and the treble a little bit. It doesn't sound like it needs a whole lot. It's kind of almost there. Very, very cool. On the Axe FX3, I found that this is one amp model that if you just turn the input drive up for your lead tone, you don't necessarily need a boost. It just kind of does the thing. Let's hear that on a Les Paul. So I would say probably for rhythm guitar, I would set up the bright mode with the input drive lower. And I would go over to the non-bright mode and turn the input drive up. And let's leave that master at around 6. That seemed to be the nice sweet spot. This would be my kind of lead tone for something nice and creamy. We got to hear that with some delay. So let's add a delay block after the amp and cab. I'm going to go with the, let's go with the stereo BBD. That's not a surprise for me at all. Ratio at 75%, so we get that nice quarter note and dotted eighth note stereo delay thing, or the halo, as someone like Andy Timmons might call it. Let's hear this. That's absolute silk. So that's what's going on with the Arcane, that's what's going on with the JFET compressor. In fact, if you want a kind of cool alternate boost, you could take something like this, bring the drive down. Let's kick in this compressor and crank the level, say by another 9 dB. That is so smooth and creamy, and it makes playing really, really straightforward. So they're my favorite features. There are a whole bunch of other features in the release notes that you can read up on, but I want to give you some of these presets. So let me dial those up and I'll just run them through in alphabetical order. First up, we've got a patch inspired by the GFI Specular Tempest pedal. It's called Anti-Shimmer. It's using the Plex shift block together with one of the big cloud reverbs. In parallel, we get this. That one's got a massive decay going on. I absolutely love it. Next, we've got a patch built around the Atomica High Amp model, a bunch of different scenes using channels in the amp block from stock through to boosted, through to lower gain, through to higher gain, through to lead tones. You get the idea. I'll just step through the scenes while I play. Next up is a version of an AX8 preset that I made that I've also remade for the FM3. This is like the crazier, sillier version of it that I've called dexamethamphetamine. It has lots of scenes, but this is probably my favorite one. Next up, there's an Arcane preset that I dialed in with my single cut, so I'll pull my single cut out to play it. There's 4 scenes. One is a very basic clean scene. One is an ambient clean. We've got a kind of chunky, tight rhythm scene, and then we've got a smooth lead scene. I also ported over my rack delays preset from the Axe FX3. There's a clean version and a dirty version of that. And it looks like my camera just died, so let's just continue in FM3 edit. There's 8 scenes in here. The hardest one to get was the pyramid delays scene because we only have one multi-tap delay in the FM3. So what I've done is I've tried to replicate it with the 8 delays from the Plex delay. It's still pretty wild. Like I said earlier, there's also a clean version of that preset. I'll finish off with one last preset. This is the emulation of the Yamaha SPX90 Symphonic mode that I dialed in for my Axe FX3. I've ported it over to the FM3. There's one mode using a flanger and another using a delay for the tones. I think I prefer the flanger mode the most, but try each of the scenes. There's also a few extra little Easter eggs in there. Please note that when you download this pack, there is a little README, and I've explained which user cabs go where. I think I included 5 different user cabs, and they each belong in their own user slot. I've explained that in the little README file, so you can grab that. Otherwise, go and update your FM3, get all the new features. go and have a bunch of fun and play some guitar, because that's what it is all about. Thanks so much for watching the video. Sorry that my camera died, but I'll see you all next time. Take it easy, stay safe, and be excellent to one another. Cheers.